Evening from me again, here in Cape Town, South Africa, on the night of the 2nd of August. I'm so angry. I have now found out that all this violence that's taking part, all the destruction of property, the injuring of people, okay, that has been going on now for since about Thursday, has all been because the traffic police dared to issue traffic fines, impound taxis, minibus taxis, and the taxi operators or drivers, the taxi drivers who work for bosses, okay, have been the reason, because they don't see why the traffic police should issue them traffic fines, and impound their taxis. What? Burning of tires, blocking roads, stoning cars, stoning people, stopping people from going to work, causing the absolute chaos and destruction that they have caused, has to do with the traffic police and impounding of their taxis. Taxis here in South Africa, minibus taxis. I'm not talking about the normal taxi that everybody knows, okay? I'm talking about a minibus taxi. These guys are ruthless. These drivers are dangerous. They weave in and out of traffic, okay? They'll stop right in front of you, okay? They'll park wherever they want. They'll overfill the taxis, the minibus taxis. They are dangerous. I mean, people have, even women, okay, they jump in, they pay their fare, okay, and off they go. And these taxi drivers have taken them into the bushes and raped them, robbed them, murdered them, beaten them up. These taxi drivers, minibus taxi drivers, and they're what they call gaichis, they're fare collectors and destination shouters. These people are not kosher. They're dangerous. And so many of these guys, okay, especially the gaichis, are gang related. They sell drugs, they're armed, 9 times out of 10 with illegal firearms, okay? They're not polite, sweet little people, okay, that take you from A to B and help you onto taxis and things like onto minibus taxis and things like that. These are mean people. Okay, the operators, as far as I'm concerned, are a gang of men. Okay, and if you as an ordinary person decides they want to drive a taxi and they want to they've got the money to get a taxi license, and a taxi license is costly. You cannot operate your taxi just by yourself, your minibus taxi. You have to be part of one of the mafia bosses, okay? Because they will kill you. This is not for the ordinary person. These operators, okay, put these drivers through hell. They don't get a monthly salary, they get a commission on how much money they make in a day. So the more fares they can pick up, okay, the more pay they'll get. So this causes the dangerous driving, the weaving in and out of traffic, stopping anywhere for anything. I mean, there's no designated minibus taxi stops or anything, okay? They just stop wherever they want. And they drop off people wherever they want. They pick up people wherever they want, okay? And the more they can do, the more fares they make, the more money they get. So a lot of the pressure that's put onto these taxi drivers, I blame on this mafia bunch of taxi bosses. They're terrible. I mean, these guys, in fact, these guys would make the American or Sicilian mafia run in 50 different directions looking for cover. These guys you don't play with these people. I mean, they will shoot each other outside their homes in front of their families. They will kidnap each other's families. They do the most terrible things to each other. Taxi wars are fought at the big taxi ranks, okay, which are in the high density suburbs, all right, where most of the working force comes from. And they shoot out, and if there are customers caught in the battle, hey, tough tacky, nobody cares. Now, for them to act like a bunch of hooligans and disrupt the whole way of life in Cape Town, the whole system, since I think it was Thursday, Friday, okay, and cause fear and loss of earnings and all that kind of business to thousands upon thousands of people. I mean, there's a Burger King across the road from me. They were closed yesterday. I don't know if they were closed the day before, but they were closed yesterday because the staff couldn't get to work. They were too frightened. Others, today, there was a warning that was sent out by these, excuse my language, buggers, okay, that anybody that came in a branded vehicle, in other words, like from McDonald's or anywhere else, okay, any other company marked vehicle that went to go and pick up staff for work today, their vehicles were going to get stoned or set alight. Okay. I mean, this is not cool. And all because you think that you're above the law. I mean, that's a complete and utter... How can you be above the law? You commit traffic crimes daily. Some of those taxis, I'll never forget, my son used to go when he worked for Mug and Bean in town, okay? And if it was early morning, he would catch a taxi from Century City and go through to the waterfront, okay, by taxi. And the one day he was telling me a story when he came home from work. He said, "Mum, you should have seen the taxi that I caught this morning." I said, "Okay, cool, tell me." And I was thinking, oh Lord, I'm going to have nightmares. He said, for a start, the door, you see, they are minibus, so the doors where you let the people in, they slide, isn't it? Okay. Now, this door didn't slide. The gaichi, the shouter, they call them shouters, okay, but in the local lingo, okay, they're known as a gaichi. He just took the door off. Okay, then once everybody had got in, then he put the door back on. The driver, okay, his steering wheel was a pair of pliers attached to a screw that was coming out of the steering rod. There was no steering wheel, okay? And the pliers had a thing that you could turn attached to them, okay? So almost like a ratchet spanner, okay, attached to it, so that you could actually turn the wheels. And this is You pay full price, and this is what was on what the guy was giving you as taxi. And there wasn't anything else that my son could get to work with. Okay. So everybody jumped on and off they went. Now, if the traffic police are not allowed to impound these kind of vehicles or any other vehicles, they brought in new taxi laws, okay, which are really brilliant, and they are there to protect the passengers and the driver as well, okay? But they don't want these laws. They want to operate like a bunch of mafia. That's all they want to operate as. And they must have no laws governing them whatsoever. And because the law decided to really get heavy-handed, because I mean, we're losing 50, 60 people in a month, okay? And I'm being generous there, through taxi accidents, through reckless driving, overcrowding, all this kind of bad taxis, okay? So the law has now become really heavy-handed. And because of that, we have the violence. I mean, the army had to be called in today, tanks and everything, to go to the areas. One was Joslovo, the other one was DUNOON. DUNOON is a couple of roads down from me. It's not far. And it's it started off as an illegal settlement, and now it's a huge, high-density suburb, okay? It's huge. And there are thousands upon thousands of people in there, all right? And you know, when does the stupidity stop in this country? When does this destruction of property stop? The law is the law is the law, and it's there for everybody. It's not a different law for minibus taxi operators and a different law for normal taxis and a different law for motor vehicles. No. If you are operating dangerously and if you are causing accidents and things like that, and if your vehicle is not roadworthy, okay, the law must deal with you. You don't like it, so don't do it. It's as simple as that. But this, you see, this is where these mafia bosses come in, these taxi bosses. I'll tell you something. If I lived in an area where there was a taxi boss, I would get the hell out of that area, because I can guarantee you that it wouldn't be long and there'd be shootings and there'd be killings and there'd be all sorts of things in that area. These guys are major thugs. And I mean, they live in mansions, these operators, these owners, okay? They live in mansions. But you look at them walking in the street or whatever, okay? You think they're just an ordinary person. You know, you'd never think that they were worth millions. I mean, it blows my mind, okay, that these people with all this money would have allowed their drivers to cause the destruction and the lack of earnings that they have caused. I mean, I have lived through many demonstrations in this country. Okay, they've never reached as close as this one did, okay? And there my fear is, if these guys get a taste of coming into the suburbs and wreaking havoc, okay, it's easy prey. And then I'm frightened that they'll do it again and again and again. So at least, okay, I could hear them singing, all right. They were close enough for that, all right, which was about what, 3 roads down from me, 3 roads down, 1, 2, yeah, about 3 roads down. It was close enough. And from that 3rd road, it's very easy to get to where I am, because there's one main road that goes past, which is the end of that road that they were in. Okay, it goes all along the suburb like that. Okay, on the one side, on the bottom side, and then it ends at a road that comes right through. Okay, like a sort of a main road right through the suburb. Okay, and if they got onto that, I mean, there's shopping centers all along there. Okay, malls, all that kind of business. They would have wreaked havoc. Absolute havoc. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, these taxi people just blow my mind. I mean, it's not even logical. It's not even logical. If you are not operating within the boundaries of the law, okay, how can you ask the traffic police not to fine you and not to impound your taxis? They must first discuss with you. Oh, come on, please. People are losing their minds. They really are, because, I mean, anybody that can cause what they caused, okay, since Thursday and Friday, I mean, this country's getting to the stage where it's not even logical. It's not even logical. And you taxi drivers, you disgust me to my core. You should be made, you mafia bunch of taxi owners, okay? You should be made to pay for the damage that your workers caused. Your workers caused that damage under your instructions because your pockets were being hit. You want to make the money from the people, okay? You want to make the money that all your millions that you have, okay? And you drive around in your brand spanking new Mercs and your BMs, okay? And what are these other cars where the spare parts are so expensive? I can't remember now. Beautiful things, okay? You want to drive around in all the latest 2019, okay? Your children and your wives all wear designer label clothes, all right? You live in mansions, okay? And yet you want to provide a 4th-class service to the people that have given you all that luxury. You seriously need to be held accountable. But I don't think the city will do it, because the people that are in charge of the city, the DA, okay, party, are a bunch of wimps anyway. I mean, they say, the ANC this and the ANC that. They're just as bad. They're even worse. Even worse. So, I mean, there's been some deal worked out somewhere, okay, because apparently now they've come to some agreement, all right, and everything goes back to normal tomorrow. Well, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We'll see how long that lasts. I mean, they ripped the place apart. They burnt bus depots and buses and all this kind of business. You know, seriously, you don't have the right to do that. It's not your property, you bloody freaking taxi drivers and taxi owners. It's not your property. Do you want us to start burning your taxis and go and burn your mansions and burn your Mercs and your BMs and your other bloody luxury cars? Is that what you want us to do? and then see how you enjoy it. Stop your children going to school. Stop your wives going shopping in the designer labeled shops, a whole mall, okay, with all designer label shops inside it. Is that what you'd like us to do? Because of the crap service you're providing for us? I can't even get into one of those minibus taxis for the simple reason that the jewelry that I wear, I'm going to get robbed. And that's the service that you're going to provide. No. You people need to be held accountable. You should pay for the cleanup. That's what you should do. No, instead the army does the cleanup. Okay? Not the people that caused it. No. And who's going to pay for it? Us, the taxpayers. That's who's going to pay for it. I didn't go there and stone cars and burn tires and burn great big holes in the tarmac of the roads, the main roads, highways. I didn't do that. I didn't go and smash people's businesses and loot them. But I must pay for it. Because I guarantee you, those people that did the damage, none of them are paying taxes. None of them. Because they're all peace workers. So now we must pay for damage we never did. And then there'll be another strike for something, okay, because there isn't money for it and all this kind. No, there isn't money for it because you people keep on damn well destroying every frigging thing. The destruction that you caused because the traffic police were actually doing their job and impounding your illegal vehicles, unroadworthy vehicles, and issuing you traffic fines for speeding, for overloading, for dangerous driving, illegal stopping. How dare they do their job? You're a taxi driver. Your boss is king of the world. Yeah, the underworld, which is big in Cape Town. Big. Very little in Cape Town isn't controlled by some underworld boss somewhere. Even the nightclubs, even the bouncers that go into the nightclubs. There was a war and one bouncer owner killed another one and held the family hostage. Yeah, lovely. We got the Russian mafia, we got the Chinese mafia, we got the Somalian mafia, we've got, good Lord. I mean, nowhere else. This seems to be the headquarters for the world's mafia organizations. Lovely stuff. And now the taxis want to operate above the law. That's brilliant, isn't it? Ugh, I don't know. You know, it's got to the stage where to hell with South Africa. Let the devil take care of it. Because I tell you something, it's a waste of time. It seriously is a waste of time. People can't work. Investment isn't coming into the country because of what the people do. I mean, for a pin drops and maybe the sound is a bit too loud and everybody's out on the streets throwing rocks and lighting fires and looting and I don't know where we're going to end. I really don't. I see us ending up like Zimbabwe on steroids. I really do. And what can the government do? they can only get the people to enforce the law. And then if you enforce the law, okay, you have this riots. They're riots. They're not, it's not demonstrations, they're riots. They're riots. Violent riots. So, well done, taxi operators. Well done. You've just, when these people that you are carting everywhere, every day, okay, when they haven't got jobs, because there's nobody to employ them, because the economy has just gone down under, okay, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do then? I mean, it's ridiculous. You business owners will act like business owners and not damn mafia bosses. Anyway, another day, another riot. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. We see how long it lasts. Well, it's not tomorrow. It's what's it, Wednesday morning already. We see what happens at 5:05. So, to the rest of the world, may you have a peaceful morning, afternoon, nighttime. May your gods go with you. Ciao, ciao.